This is Donagh Corby with Seconds Out. Buddy McGirt, out of 10, what would you rank DIllian Whyte's performance in his comeback fight tonight?
I'm not going to rank it. I'm just going to say that he learned from it. You know, the first couple rounds, his head was everywhere except where it's supposed to be. Then the third round, he started putting it together, and I believe by round 4 or 5, he would have got him out of there. And I think the other guys knew it. They seen it and said, you know what, the hell with this.
Is that seems to be kind of the opinion behind the scenes, is that he just didn't want to get laid out in front of that
first
crowd.
2 rounds, you know, when he came back at the end of the second round, I'm like, what are you doing? You're making this harder than it has to be. This shit is so easy with this guy. Back him up and go downstairs to the body. He's in survival mode. So when a guy's in survival mode, you don't try to hit him on the chin. You got to break him down. And then towards the middle of the third round, he started going downstairs. And then, you know, just a matter of time. And I think the other guy said the hell with it.
I was speaking to Thomas Carty just there. Obviously, he had a great performance, a great knockout victory as well. And I was asking him if he had the book, and he was Turkey Al Sheikh, who would he book Dylan against next if it was, you know, a big fight? Who do you reckon what do you think is next for Dylan?
You know, I just want him to get another fight again soon. You know, that's about it. You know, that's the key. You know, you got to keep the tools sharp. The only way you keep them sharp is if you use them. You can't go home and sit home for 3 months and say, okay, I'm going to wait for the phone to ring. Nah, you got to get right back at it.
But you obviously need to get home. Like you were saying in some other interview up there.
Yeah, I'm going home. I'm going home, baby. I'm going home. But at the same time, he can still get in the gym. You know what I mean? And work on things. He knows what he has to do. He's a smart man. So he knows what I would want him to do and how I would want him to do it.
Obviously, he will fight anyone who is offered, whenever is offered. But would you like, it sounds to me like you would like maybe one more of these kinds of fights.
To be honest with you, I would love another one like this, but if not, it doesn't matter.
When I spoke to Thomas, he threw out maybe a rematch with Fury at some point. That kind of surprised me. It was a surprising opportunity. But do you think at some point Dylan will maybe be able to get himself back to that level? I mean, it only takes one big win.
Exactly, and I think that the way the heavyweight division is now, I don't think he will. I know he will. If given the opportunity, I know he will do it.
The one guy who called him out last night, Joe Joyce, did you see that call out? And did you see any of that fight last night?
No, I didn't, no.
What do you reckon about Joe Joyce as an opponent for Dylan?
I mean, he's a good fighter, but, you know, I think that the better the opposition, I think the better Dylan is.
Well, of course, but do you think is Joyce a world level operator?
I mean, listen, he's up there. You know, he's beat a lot of good guys. I think it'll be a great fight for boxing.
Obviously, there's a lot of great fights for boxing happening at the moment, and I'm sure.
But I think these two will be like a barn burner.
It certainly would. There's loads of barn burners out there for Dylan. Obviously, Ngannou's now in the mix. Wilder is back there as a possibility, and I'm sure he's just like when you're in the gym. I'm sure he's watching all of these guys and saying, "I want to get in with these guys. I want to get in."
He doesn't care who it is. He just wants to fight, and it doesn't matter to him.
Obviously, Thomas Carty was saying as well. You were having a word with him about that fight there. He fought a tough opponent there. He was saying this guy had more stoppages than Thomas had fights. Good showing from Thomas Carty.
Oh yeah, I mean he can fight, Thomas. I watched him a few times, and he's definitely someone to keep your eye on. For
you, like obviously there's a lot coming up now. How soon do you think we will see DIllian Whyte back in the ring?
I hope in the next. Let me see, we're in March. I would say by May. I'd like to see him in another fight in May.
Behind the scenes, how was everything over the last sort of 6 months?
Everything was good. Everything was good. It's just that when the bell rang for round 1, he lost it for a little while.
Probably everything from the last few months.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, obviously, when it all happened, I mean, we're talking about the week of a massive fight there, and then it all kind of happens. Like, surely it must have been an emotional week.
Sometimes when stuff happens like it happened, you start to think, is someone trying to derail you or take you off course, and then bam, now you're back where people thought you wouldn't be. You know, a lot goes through your mind. You know what I mean? Then you go in there in the ring against a guy who you know that has everything to gain and nothing to lose. You know what I mean? So he's going to come out and give it his all like he did the first 2 rounds. And when it didn't work, he said, the hell with it.
Absolutely. So finally, from me, like I said to Thomas Carty, if it was you booking the fight, what would be the next fight for Dylan? Which stylistic fight? Like, if you were a fan, let's say, just watching.
I'm not going to just pick one person because I don't want nobody else to get jealous saying you didn't pick me. So it really don't matter.
Him and Joe does sound like good fun. I
Be a
like
great
him and
fight.
Francis with the 2-fight deal.
That'd be a
That's
great
a good
fight. Him and was it Joe Joyce? You said?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great fight.
Ready. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to speak to you, sir.